While many look towards the new year rich in expectation about what lies next or what comes next, for many, including those in small business, there are plenty of challenges. Joining me at the desk for the first time this year, Amanda Rose, founder and CEO of Small Business Women Australia. Happy New Year, my dear friend. How are you?
I'm very well.
That's the positive stuff. Now,
Yes.
the negative
Now
stuff.
let's talk reality.
Small businesses drying up, challenges. Tell me more.
Well, what's sad is that we have a lot of small businesses leaving the market, but also businesses dropping down to not having employees. And I predicted that we're going to have a lot more unemployment because small businesses can't afford it. But also it's drying up when people starting small business. And even looking at the ones that are currently running, 43% of them aren't making a profit. So they're on the chopping board essentially moving forward if things keep getting tighter and harder, and they are. And
there's a real lag effect, isn't there? Everyone talks about cost of living and interest rates, but often those problems happen like a domino effect.
Yes. That's exactly right. So something might happen now and it's tough, and then there might be a relief in a month and everyone goes, oh, isn't that great? Well, it's not, because a small business owner still has to pay wages, increase in super, increase in costs. And I have a cafe owner that tells me that their, electricity and gas have gone up. Everything about $6,000 a year has gone up, and that could be someone's profit.
Yeah, well, here we are. We just got some overlay here of some small businesses, and obviously many of them thrive through the Christmas period, but there is a lull, isn't there? When you get to late January, February, things change.
That's right. Seasonal businesses in particular, but also don't forget staffing is very difficult. So people, there's a mix. So finding the right staff, but also a lot of people don't want to work in a small business because they want to be influencers, or they want to work in a large company because they get more benefits. So small businesses actually cop it from every possible angle, but they are the largest part of businesses in Australia. They are the largest employer. People don't realise that. And if they start shutting down, you start losing your job, a big company's not going to pick you up.
No, yeah. And changes in legislation that will impact small business, including Privacy Act, cyber security support?
Yeah, so Privacy Act, usually you were exempt from the Privacy Act if you had a turnover under 3 million. That's now changed. So a lot of small businesses, say you got Google Sheets with your database and things like that, you could actually be fined if someone breaches that or someone hacks that. And the government's come out saying, well, we've got all this cyber security support, but the reality is small business owners don't have time to take that up, to train up on it, to read the legislation. So there's another massive area where small businesses are at high risk because the government has made a change that they don't realise could negatively impact a small business owner even further.
The whole IR thing too.
Exactly. So, some of the laws that were passed right before, like at Christmas time, which I think is the worst thing you can do, and senators, the independent senators that, got it through have no idea about small business, in my opinion, because it has a ripple effect. And the ones that they want to pass, like changing the meaning of independent contractor, could literally decimate the female small business owner because they rely on that, but also tradies. Yeah. They're the largest independent contractors out there, are the tradies.
What about digital ID legislation?
So another one that they put forward very late in the year, so that's gone to a select committee, and the report's due in February, end of February. So people really need to be more active when it comes to government. If they don't like it, I'm not a fan of a lot of it because it's giving too much power to government and private enterprise. People need to put in submission. Put in a submission to these, Senate committee inquiries and say, this is why we don't like it. Whether you're a small business, an individual, an organisation, start speaking up.
Great surprise this morning. We heard from the government that there'll be no referendum for the Republic. Well, I don't think there'll be any referendum for anything.
Well, I think we need to keep that money. We've already spent millions of dollars on referendums. I think priorities in Parliament need to probably be reviewed, because let's focus on people surviving. Let's focus on supporting small business, on trades and construction companies that are falling over by the week. How are we going to build all these new dwellings? So, yeah, let's put referendums on hold for maybe a decade.
We're going to have a chat with, a decade, 50 years. We're going to talk to Bruce Hawker in the next hour and have a little bit of a look at 2024 in politics. But I want to get your view as we wrap it up. Anthony Albanese, probably that the honeymoon period was completely over last year and was on the slide. Peter Dutton was on the rise. How do you think this first part of 2024 is going to go?
I think there's going to be a nosedive with popularity with Labor purely because of the ripple effect of what happened last year. People were really suffering and now they're starting to feel it, especially coming out of Christmas. And people will lose jobs early in the year when companies restructure, small business shutting down. They're not going to be happy, which is probably why they're trying to do a cost of living relief package now to get people interested. But they need long-term solutions. So here's an opportunity for someone to stand up and say, actually, this is what you need, and people will just start following them.
It's all about the economy, isn't it?
Always.
You can hear the rhetoric. The other thing is that lots of, and this is anecdotal from me talking to people that I know, lots of people are now back in the office.
Yes.
Executives are saying, no more working at home.
Well, and that's interesting. So a lot of people are quitting because of that or trying to change their job. And I think we need to find a balance. So come in and work from home if your job can do it, but a lot of jobs that can't. So if your job can't, then you kind of have to suck it up. But if your job can, have a conversation with your manager and say, this is, what we like to do. Because some people are more productive at home. Some people are very
We'll go windsurfing.
Some people are very disruptive in the office too, mind you.
Yeah, you
so
get that,
it's a
yeah.
balance, right?
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It's good to see you.
Likewise.
All right.